come a little closer to the fire. We spend a lot of time worrying about dark places, empty roads, abandoned buildings, places where we already know we shouldn't be alone. But sometimes, the place that should make you feel safest is the one with all the lights on. Tonight's story is about a woman who stopped at a laundromat after work. She thought she was alone. She wasn't. This is The Last Load. A little over a year ago, a woman named Danielle got off work later than usual. She needed clean clothes for the next morning, and the washing machine in her apartment had been broken for almost a week. So around 10:45 that night, she stopped at a 24-hour laundromat a few blocks from home. She had been there plenty of times before. It wasn't fancy. 2 long rows of washers, dryers along the back wall, a vending machine near the bathroom, and security cameras mounted in every corner. When Danielle walked in, the place was empty. Perfect. She loaded her clothes into a washer, put in her detergent, and sat near the front window scrolling through her phone. About 20 minutes later, one of the dryers behind her started turning. Danielle looked up. She hadn't noticed anyone come inside. She glanced toward the back. Nobody. The dryer continued spinning, round and round and round. Danielle figured someone must have left clothes inside and started the machine before leaving. She went back to her phone. A few minutes later, the dryer stopped. Silence. Then another dryer started. This one was closer. Danielle looked over her shoulder. Again, nobody. Now she felt uneasy. She stood and walked toward the dryers. The first one was empty, so was the second. She checked the doors. Nothing inside. Danielle backed away. That's when she noticed the little television mounted near the ceiling. It wasn't showing television. It was displaying the laundromat's security cameras. 4 different views of the building appeared on the screen. Danielle could see herself standing near the dryers. She could see the empty front entrance, the washers, the vending machines. Then she looked at the 4th camera. The one pointed toward the back hallway. Someone was standing there. A woman. Danielle immediately turned around. The hallway was empty. She looked back at the monitor. The woman was still there, standing perfectly still, her head tilted slightly downward. Long dark hair covered most of her face. Danielle stared at the screen. The woman lifted her head, then slowly raised one hand and pointed, not at the camera, at something outside the frame. Danielle followed the direction of her finger. On the monitor, she was pointing toward Danielle. Danielle's stomach dropped. She grabbed her phone and keys. Forget the clothes. She headed straight for the front door. Then, the security monitor changed. The woman wasn't in the hallway anymore. She was standing behind Danielle, on the screen. Danielle spun around. Nothing. She looked back at the monitor. The woman was closer. Close enough that her face should have been visible. But it wasn't. Just hair. Danielle grabbed the front door. Locked. She pulled harder. Nothing. The laundromat had automatically locked at 11. A small sign on the glass read, "Doors unlock from inside. Push bar to exit." Danielle slammed both hands against the bar. The door opened. She ran straight to her car. She didn't stop for her laundry. She didn't look back. The next morning, Danielle returned with her brother. An employee was behind the counter. Danielle explained what happened. The employee stared at her. Then he asked, "What time were you here?" "Around 11. His expression changed. He walked over to the computer and pulled up the security footage. Danielle watched herself enter. She watched herself load the washing machine. She watched herself sit near the window. Then came the moment when the dryer started. On the recording, Danielle suddenly looked over her shoulder. But the dryer wasn't moving. She watched herself walk toward it. Open it. Look inside. Then back away. Next, she watched herself staring up at the security monitor. The employee paused the video. "What were you looking at?" Danielle pointed toward the monitor. "Her." "Who?" "The woman in the hallway." The employee looked at the recording. There was nobody there. He started the footage again. Danielle watched herself grab her keys and rush toward the exit. But right before she reached the door, something appeared on the camera. Not in the hallway, not behind her. Inside the dryer, she had just checked, a hand, pressed flat against the glass. Danielle never went back for her clothes. And she doesn't use 24-hour laundromats anymore. Because whatever was inside that dryer wasn't trying to get her attention. It was waiting for her to open the door again.